You got a name for your production company?
Ooh, you almost got me. You almost got me. You almost got me. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. In time, in time.
What's popping, y'all? You rocking with Jiggy Jones, and we have a very special guest in the building. May have seen him on Grownish, Dancing with the Stars, a number of music videos, and a number of Ellen DeGeneres appearances. Miles Brown is in the building.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Miles, first and foremost, how you doing, King?
I'm good. I'm just chilling, just going through quarantine. It's still quarantine. Don't forget,
Yeah.
everybody. It's still quarantine. Don't we ain't forget. And just staying busy and just trying to relax through all the stuff that's going on. So
You have this new campaign with Crest, making sure that you're keeping the pearly whites white and pearly. So talk about how the campaign came about and why you felt it was so fitting right now.
Yeah, I mean, well, I feel like a lot of people needed this. I mean, me, I've always been, I guess, a really high on hygiene person. I've always been raised that way. And I've always made sure that anyone who's around me, my little cousins, my sister, everyone, it's kind of always been raised that way too, because I don't want them to regret it in the future and like, oh, I wish I had, better hygiene when I was growing up. And I've always wanted to, I guess, pass that message on to my followers and my fans and the people that follow me and support me. So I've always wanted to be like, hey guys, make sure you've always, wanted to keep that same hygiene, and not just for teeth, not even just for that, but washing your face, making sure that your body's right, healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess me, partnering with Crest was like the perfect thing for me to do. So I'm glad I'm able to get that message out to my supporters.
How was your hygiene just prior to the campaign? I know not saying that you weren't keeping everything together, but how would you say your hygiene was?
Well, I've never had a cavity, which is really crazy.
Like,
I mean, I feel like I've known some people who've never had a cavity, but I think it's just really dope to think like, well, I've never had to worry about, filling in teeth with all that type of stuff.
mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's like, I've always made sure I've always maintained my teeth when it comes to headgear, Invisalign, retainers, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I think making sure brushing, flossing 2 times a day is always like the most important thing. Washing hands after you eat, before you eat. And it's like, I don't know if I've always been that type of person, but when it comes to times like these, when we need to be safe like this,
Mm-hmm.
I guess the people who've always been doing it the most are actually perfect and ready for this moment. Now that it's like, oh, it's your time to shine, because now you can prove to everybody that it's cool to, be hypergenic and making sure you're always staying clean. So I think I kind of just want to get everyone on that same wave too.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a big deal when it came to doing this.
Was Crest always your choice of toothpaste?
Yes, sir.
Got it.
I
Same.
mean, it's crazy because it's like, I've always used Crest. My whole family has always used it. So it's like anytime I know which exact one I'm getting, like I can literally go in the bathroom and show you exactly which one. And
Word.
it's like ever since they came to me and they wanted to partner with me, it's like, hey man, I'm gonna need some free Crest, some free Crest.
So you tell me you got a life supply of Crest now?
That I wish that would be crazy. That would be dope. But I mean, it's like, it's just showing love, and it's like, that's the only really brand I've ever been using ever since I was really born. That's because that's the only thing my family uses. So yeah.
Definitely. Now speaking of your family, you come from musical background. Your dad being a rapper. Just how was that? Just growing up and just taking all the musical influences and then applying it to your art today.
It's wild because it's like me growing up, obviously, like you just said, my dad is an artist, he's a musician, rapper. And just I guess growing up in the house, always being around music, always being around rap. And it's like, I guess his lifestyle, the way that he would always live, he would always kind of like always push me in a always positive direction. Cause obviously we know what the older generation's been through, what certain things that he's done. And he kind of wants me to be on that right foot and just that right step going, growing up. And he's always made sure that I've always been in that right positive direction, even though I can still always have hip hop in my life, always have rap in my life, and making sure I've always had the right influence. So I know that me kind of transitioning from, because I started off as a dancer. So me starting off from dancing, going into acting, it kind of always made me want to always find a new passion for something. And I think that music was right up my alley because obviously I'm super familiar with it. And I think it was just the perfect thing for me to do. And I've always wanted to do it, but I've never actually had the time and passion to put it into an actual project. So yeah.
Gotcha. Now just touching on your dancing. So you were about 4 or 5 years old when you made your first appearance
Or
on Ellen DeGeneres show.
yeah.
So just looking back at that, just what gave you the courage just at such a young age to one just perform in front of hundreds of people in the audience, but millions of people that are watching at home. What gave you that courage?
Right. I mean, I've always wanted to perform. It's like no matter who it is, my family, like my best friend that I met at preschool or something, like I don't know if it's just me, but I'm always the type of person to want to just show people what I just learned or show someone what I just did. And it's like, I guess I was so young, I didn't really care about who was in the audience. And I think the older we get, the more people will start to get more, I guess, afraid of wanting to show people their passion or afraid of wanting to, I guess, speak out and be different.
Mhm.
And it's like, I was so young, I didn't even understand, oh, like, oh, this is something that normally people are scared of doing. And I just thought of something that's fun. And I've always, I guess I've always thought of things that I've wanted to do as fun. And I think it's always been that way. So I think that's how I kind of got through my courage. But I mean, I've been on it multiple times. So every time I guess it's a little more nerve wracking
Yeah.
because I was just on Ellen. It was the virtual version, not the in real life version, but still just as kind of creepy of being on the show. But I would say that's how I got through my I guess my courage on the first time.
Definitely. And back then you were known as Baby Boogaloo.
Yes, yes.
So
That was my original dance name. The way that name came about was because my favorite dance group at the time and actually now, the Electric Boogaloos, they were on Soul Train. I'm pretty sure you know what Soul Train is.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
And it was so like super inspirational from me. I've always watched Michael Jackson, James Brown growing up. Obviously, like I just said, the Electric Boogaloos, Jabberwockies. There's a lot of like I guess OGs that I've always watched when it comes to that industry.
Mhm.
And that's how I got my name, Baby Boogaloo, Electric Boogaloos. And I really started off kind of modeling the way I danced and just the way I've always done everything, I guess, to them. So that's where I got my name.
Now touching
Yeah.
back on your music, you released your project last year, 2020 during quarantine. And so one, how was that experience? And two, what do you look to build on after releasing the project?
I mean, it was crazy because it's like I've always wanted to release music. I've always wanted to, I guess, release a project, just something that I've always wanted to have under my belt as an artist. And it's like I kind of never found the way or how I wanted to do it or what I would talk about or what type of style I wanted to do. So it's like I've always kind of been in that gray area.
Mhm.
And I think me being on Blackish for a little bit of time kind of gave me that push and that motivation to start talking about certain topics that I want to pursue in my own stuff.
Mhm.
And I was like, I don't know which way or how should I could do that. And I was like, hey, I might as well put it in my music and put it in my lyrics and my flows or whatever. And that was when I started kind of clicking when it came to music. So that kind of gave me that, I guess, that first inspiration to start taking on music. And it was crazy ever since then. And I've always thought of it as something to do for fun. I've never really cared about, oh, I need to do this so I can go on tour, so I can, like I've never really thought about stuff like that. But just doing it for fun because my dad, he's always been the one making sure like you don't want to do certain stuff for the wrong reason, and then you're gonna look back on it and wish you did stuff just for fun and did stuff just for the actual joy of it. And I've always wanted to do it. We the Future. It was a dope concept because I guess the way that came around was I wanted to, I guess, my message throughout all of it. I wanted to, I guess, give out to my supporters the fact that because I know a lot of my supporters are my age and a lot of them are even younger than me.
Mhm.
And I want to tell them that we're going to be the ones that are going to have that, I guess, that voice and that passion growing up because we're Gen Z. We're going to be the ones that are going to be in charge of the world, the country, whatever. So I want to make sure that's my main, I guess, my main focus and main, I guess, message in the album.
Mhm.
And that's why I called it We the Future, because it kind of played on words with We the People when it comes to the signing of the Constitution.
Gotcha.
And the cover stemmed from that. So shout out to my sister. She actually came up with the idea for that.
Okay, cool.
But yeah, that's where the whole inspiration from it came from. And ever since then, I've always never really stopped making music.
Mhm.
But I kind of have to wait and see how I want to do it or see what I want to do for the next thing. So we'll see.
Now on Kid, you tap in you tap into to your first. So you talk about your first kiss, first crush, first breakup. So have you
Yeah.
experienced all those things at your age?
Yeah, I've experienced most of those things that I've said in that song. And I guess some of the things that I haven't experienced that I mentioned in that song was a play on words where I guess wanting to stay a kid, but also being that kid of the point of view of wanting to grow up. Cause I know a lot of when I was younger, I know a lot of kids, oh, I wish I was an adult. Oh, I wish I was older so I could do this.
Take your time.
And I know, and then when you get older, you realize, oh, I should have never did this because I'm I missed my childhood. So that's kind of where I wanted to be like, I wish I was older, but at the same time, I'm speaking from the older me saying I wish I was younger. And I remember reminiscing on my first this, my first that. So I thought it was a dope, I guess, play on words when it comes to that little sequence in the song.
Got you. Because if it was a breakup, I would say talk to me. Let it out. Tell me who she was.
Yeah. I
What
got when that time comes, I
about
got you. I got you. I got you. I got you.
no, but Any future collaborations that any artists that you look up to that you may want to collab with in the future?
Ooh, I mean, it's hard to say stuff that hasn't, I guess, been released yet or
Mhm.
certain stuff like that. But I mean,
Oh, so you
when it
say you
comes to
got
the people that
something?
I've already, yeah, when it comes to the people that I've already, I guess, work with, it's crazy because it's like Slick Rick, Jadena, Damian Lillard, who's on the album.
Yeah.
A lot of those people I actually look up to. So it's crazy to have them on my first project.
Mhm.
And I think it was mainly stemmed off the fact that they had that respect for me just from Blackish. And I guess them tuning in to see that I have a passion for music, wanted to be like, oh, let me get on something that you're doing and I want to collaborate with you on this. And I thought it was just super dope for me to be able to collaborate with people that I've actually, I guess, looked up to at such a young age.
Mhm.
And I don't think I really realized how crazy it is to, I guess, work with Slick Rick. I was like 14, 15 at the time.
Mhm.
And but yeah, stuff for in the future. I mean, obviously, like you got the common people you'd want to work with, like Drake, Kendrick, all this type of people. Um, I don't know. I mean, it's whatever, whatever happens, whatever happens. But I guess I really look up to everyone for certain reasons and certain styles of music. So we'll see when that time comes. That would be dope.
Now, you mentioned Blackish. Just that show is just a classic show for the run that it has.
Mhm.
Everything that has generated from the reception to the moments within the show. Shout out to Kenya Barris, Anthony Anderson,
Yes.
Ella Jarashidi, the whole cast. Um, now just about auditioning with that show, because you started that show, you were even younger than you are now, but just
Yeah.
auditioning for that show, how was the process? And how does it feel now to just have such longevity on a hit show?
Right. It's crazy because it's like when I first started on this show, that was I think maybe my first, second, I think first through third. I can't remember which year it was. Right when I started acting, because like I just said, I came from dancing.
Yeah.
And I guess every single time I would audition for a new show or a movie, whatever, or a commercial, I
Mhm.
would always think about it like, oh, this is just another audition, another day. But I would always do it in a fun way, or I wouldn't be so focused on like, oh, I need to get this, I need to get this type thing. I mean, even in the situation I would be in at the time, I would need to get it, but it's like as a kid, you never want to think of it that way because then you're kind of putting the pressure on yourself to get something. And if it doesn't go your way, then obviously your reaction to it is not going to be the way you want.
Mhm.
So I would say the way I kind of came into it, I was not worried about who was in the room, who was judging me, even though it was crazy because it was all the producers. Anthony was in the room, all the directors, all the writers were all in the room. It was like 40 different people auditioning me. And a lot of those people who were in the room, I guess, auditioning for that same role had a lot of big names. There's a lot of people that, I mean, I can't even remember. I was like 9 at the time. But I could say that I was not scared of anything. And I was just going out there having fun and being my best self. And I think they seen that in me and they realized, oh, this is the kid we want. Because, and actually, I was crazy because I was the first person they casted besides Dre, who was already on the show. And I could say that I think the reason they really wanted me on the show is because of just how natural I was. I never took acting classes. I still haven't.
Mhm.
And it's like I think they just seen the natural, I guess, and I guess me enjoying how much I love doing what I do.
Mhm.
And that's why they picked me. So it was a really crazy experience, but that's from what I can remember since it was so long ago.
Now, what is the best like advice you've gotten from any of your castmates? Because you have some OGs on there. Of course, your
Yeah.
TV parents are OGs in the game,
Mhm.
legends in their own right. And then your older sister, even your twins, your TV twin sisters, like
Mhm.
you it's an ensemble cast of legends in
Yeah.
the making and living legends. So it's like what's
Right.
the best advice that you gotten from any of your castmates?
I mean, it's been 7 years, so it's like every day is just something new.
Mhm.
Um, maybe something I can remember the most. I would say no matter what you do, never be scared to fail or never be scared to and it's not even failing, it's really learning. So it's like I remember somebody telling me, I forgot if it was Anthony or Lawrence or Jennifer, because Jennifer always tells me a lot of good advice too. People sleep on Jennifer. She's really wise. Um, I would say I think just you either win or you learn from it. I would say it's never a win or lose situation. And I think whenever, and even for acting, you can apply it to acting. Whenever you mess up or on a scene or on a take, or you can't remember, you forgot to memorize your lines. You always learn from it, and you always want to learn how to get better at it.
Mhm.
So I think, and it's never too late to always get into something. I see a lot of people be like, oh, maybe it's too late for me to start doing this, or maybe it's too late for me to start doing that. But I would say a good piece of advice I got from them, it's never too late, because then you're gonna look back on something and wish you didn't do it earlier. So then you always want to do it now. So I would say that's, I guess, the best two things I've always gotten. And I guess when it comes to life advice, it's just, it happens every day. So I can't even tell you.
And definitely, like you mentioned, Jennifer Lewis and your TV grandparents, Jennifer Lewis and Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
You can't forget about those
exactly.
people who have had just extremely long careers and prosperous careers. So it's definitely
Yeah,
that it's a blessing just to have them on set. Now, as far as
right.
there's been a number of spinoffs. Has any of the producers or Kenya Barris approach you about a potential spinoff? You or Mark?
I mean, I don't think we've really gotten to that discussion yet, because we're just starting to get into one, I think,
Mhm.
for Lawrence and Jennifer. But it's crazy. I mean, it's always happening almost every year. So hey, who knows? That would be dope, because I've seen a lot of people ask that question, and I've been like, yo, if you and Marseille did a spin-off show, that would be the funniest one or whatever. And I mean, I could see that, because I guess our chemistry is so good on and off screen. And I don't even know what it would be called. Twinish. I'm not really sure
Hey,
what that would be
there you
called.
go.
Hey, that would be a
Producer,
dope idea
hey
though.
Kenya.
So I know exactly. I gotta hit him up for that. But I mean, hey, it would be dope to, I guess, to see how we can work on set, just us two. But yeah, if that were to happen, that would be dope for sure.
Dancing with the Stars came in as a runner-up. Would you ever do it again? Go back to finally get that crown?
Yes, I've missed that. I guess that would be one of the biggest things that I've missed, I guess, ever since quarantine started. I loved being on that set. I loved everything about it. I've always loved watching Dancing with the Stars. I've always wanted to be a part of it, knowing I was a dancer.
Mhm.
But it was a whole new language for me, because ballroom dancing I've never got into. I've always done hip hop,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I would say everything about it I miss. I would 100% go back. I don't even care if I win at this point. I just would want to go back just for the memories. I mean, obviously, I do want to win because I'm a very competitive person.
Mhm.
But if I don't, I would just be happy that I'm even there just to experience it again, because it's like me waking up, doing rehearsals, doing, I guess, practices, warm-ups, all that stuff, even performing, actually watching my other friends who I met on the show performing, and just the amount of like good memories and good times I had was super awesome. And it's like you don't realize it until it's gone, and it seems like, oh, I'm waking up at 6 in the morning to do this. I don't want to be here right now, until you're done, and it's like, dang, I wish I had something where I can really look forward to, something that fun. And yeah, if they were to come back for a season two, or a season two for Dancing with the Stars Juniors, I would 100% come back for sure.
That's a fact. Now,
Yeah.
as the world opens up, um, what is what are you looking forward to the most? What do you have anything planned as far as projects? Anything you got going on right now that you're looking forward to as the world continues?
Um, a lot of stuff I can't say, because a lot of things were, I guess, pushed back because of quarantine.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of stuff that's kind of on hold for now, that is waiting to, I guess, be done once everything starts opening up. And it's like me being able to see how many things that I want to do, not even just as like a working thing, but I want to be able to go back to concerts, Rolling Loud. Like, I'm excited to see all that type of stuff.
Right.
And it's like, for me working, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's in the works when it comes to my production company on the way,
Mhm.
that I'm excited to tell everybody about. I would say it's a lot of different things that I'm excited to, I guess, reveal. But when it comes to stuff, just even having fun, going to the movies, I haven't been to the movies in months, maybe even a year. It's a lot of things that I guess me and my friends would love to do again. So one day when that comes, I'm excited for that for sure.
You got a name for your production company?
Ooh, you almost got me. You almost got me. You almost got me. Not, we're not there yet. We're not there yet. In
Got
time,
you. In due time.
in
Well,
time.
Miles, I definitely appreciate the time chopping it up with you, Young
Yes.
King. Continue to stay
Thank
focused.
you.
I love everything that you're doing right now. Just to see your growth. I mean, from 4 years old performing on Ellen to now, you're doing great, man.
Yes.
Keep
Thank
going.
you.
Keep it going.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys.
No
Peace.
problem. Take care.